Gold's having a big correction here. Money's coming out of gold to go back into equities. Again, that's not surprising. It's a beta chase right now. And that brings us to what you need to know before the bell this morning. Yesterday, a couple of things happened very much on the bullish side. So, we talked about last, a couple of Fridays ago, we had this, this bit of the sell-off in the markets. That set the table by holding the 50-day moving average. That really kind of set the table here for this move higher. So, over the last couple of days, what has happened is that we are now gaining momentum in that positioning. So again, after this pullback here that we saw, the market kind of struggled a little bit here, kind of consolidated below the 20-day moving average. When we broke out to new highs, it has now accelerated this move higher. So now we've got this fairly sharp advance moving up here. There's a running upper trend line, and we talked about this before. We've been in this trend channel kind of rising here for a while. The market stayed right within that trend channel. We broke out of that trend channel to the upside yesterday. And as I said, we've now triggered a buy signal and we're moving relative strength back in overbought territory. So again, all this is telling you right now is there's really not much reason to be bearish on the markets near term. That's all that's saying. There's a lot of momentum in the markets. There's like that air conditioning commercial. You can't stop a train, right? So that's what's going on right now, is that you've got a lot of push here. At the same time, this is forcing liquidity into the markets. So liquidity has to come from somewhere. So other assets have to get sold off in order for liquidity to go into stock. So in other words, if I'm an asset manager and I've got money on my books and I've got assets over here and I've had some big runs in some stocks, big runs in other positions, and if I want to add more to this, I've got to get money from somewhere, so I have to sell something to buy something. And we're seeing that go on right now. We're seeing that exact rotation by looking at some other asset classes. Gold's having a big correction here. Money's coming out of gold to go back into equities. Again, that's not surprising. It's a beta chase right now. Gold was extremely overbought, needs to go through this correction. We're on a very good sell signal here on gold. We're working off that overbought condition. That's a good sign. So again, somewhere around 37.80. We took out 4,000 this morning. So around 37.80, you're going to find that kind of the 50-day moving average. Gold should find support around the 50-day moving average and then provide you potentially an opportunity to add gold to your portfolio if you're looking to do that. But I'd be careful of this sell signal right now. It's extremely elevated and needs to work off a bit. So we could be through a bit of a consolidation phase here in gold for a bit, as again, kind of as a liquidity source for buying equities. Bonds have also been performing very well this year so far. We've had a good return so far. Treasury bonds are up about 5% for the year as of yesterday, and then of course you throw the yield on top of that. They're giving you a compound return of about 9.5% this year so far. So again, bonds have had a very, very nice turn here as well. So money flows have been coming into bonds. It's been chasing stocks here for the last few days. Anyway, you just kind of, no matter where you look, the backdrop is really bullish for stocks, particularly with earnings, kind of in full force right now. And those earnings expectations should be good. That should give us about 2 months of run here into the end of the year. Anyway, that's what you need to know before the bell this morning.